Abraham Kindiki it is. That is a clarion call from a meeting by members of the Mt Kenya Parliamentary Forum sitting in Nyahururu early today, declaring the law professor as the only link to the national government, completely ignoring the presence of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, not only in that very government, but also as second in command. The members, largely from counties making up the Mt Kenya West region, directing jabs towards Gachagua, calling his efforts to rally the region as one under his stewardship, as unity to support individual and personal ambition, rather than pursuit of the interest of their constituents. We begin tonight with NTV senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja.
It appears that in his disguised yet bare-knuckled approach in taking on his boss, President William Ruto, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was flying too close to the sun, and his political wax is now melting. For a man hailing from a region with no elected leader owing direct allegiance to him through a political party of his own, as had been the norm with leaders of his caliber in the past, the rug is being pulled from right under Gachagua's feet, and the man from Madera is clearly lonely at the top. Worse still, even those openly defying him are citing his ambitions to lead the mountain as the very reason for abandoning him.
Unfortunately, our effort to consolidate the development needs of the people we represent and canvass for their realization has been frustrated by the lack of a focal point of reference around whom we can channel the interests and priorities of our people, the government, for actualization. Instead, the Mt Kenya region has suffered high-octane politics around the fathom unity to support individual and personal ambition rather than the actualization, pursuit and lobbying of the interests of the constituents. Our attempts to call the region to the orderly prioritization of the development needs of the people has been frustrated by condescending threats of dire political consequences unless we support certain personal interests and ambitions.
These sentiments from a Nyahururu meeting of 35 members present and 13 sending apologies for their absence, comprising of Mt Kenya allied parliamentarians from the counties of Murang'a, Nyandarua, Laikipia, Kiambu, Nairobi, Nakuru and Nyeri, leading to a declaration that distanced them from the region's senior-most leader, instead throwing their weight behind Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kindiki.
On our own behalf and that of our people, unanimously resolve that our link to the national government to be the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, Professor Kindiki, whose responsibilities in the executive includes the coordination of national government functions across the country.
To perhaps paint Gachagua as having failed, the members of parliament have listed responsibilities initially spearheaded by him as those they intend to successfully take up. They say, and I quote, that we shall further form a coordinating committee to serve as the linkage between us and the executive in the advancement of people-sensitive legislative and development agenda in our region and our region's interests in the diaspora. They include favorable division of revenue regime, better prices for tea and coffee, road, water and electricity projects that had stalled and require funding. The attendance list is even what raises eyebrows. Aside from the known Gachagua opponents such as Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah and his Laikipia East counterpart Mwangi Kiunjuri, the presence of Nyeri Senator Wahome Wamatinga and 4 out of 6 elected members of Parliament from Nyeri County is one to note. Wamatinga has been amongst Gachagua's closest allies, having served as his CDF committee chairperson between 2017 and 2022, when Gachagua was Member of Parliament for Madera, even as the MPs surprisingly abandoned their county mates. This comes just days after another group of 16 members of parliament from the eastern side of the mountain, the home where Kindiki resides from, also made such a declaration, inviting the Mt Kenya West counterparts to support their position. A call clearly heeded if the Nyahururu meeting is anything to go by.
To the unity and development agenda of all the people of Mt Kenya region and diaspora, even as we advance the collective of Kenya as a nation.
This development cementing that indeed the interior CS could be Gachagua's worst political nightmare, as ghosts from the 2022 Kenya Kwanza running mate contest replay even after 2 years of being in government. And whether this sets the stage for a more brutal political duel in the coming days is something pundits will be keen to follow and document. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.